we like about Frank is that he's not the typical snobbish bourgeois martini drinking action hero.
Sure.
How do you feel about that?
Well, we like to think, if there was ever a comparison to be made to someone like James Bond, he would be the working class James Bond, the one that drinks Heineken and not the martini. So I suppose he's a little bit more real, like a guy from the street that has. No, I hope not, because it's easy for people to, put you in a box and say, you're the action guy because you do a couple of movies that people associate with you. But this year I've done I've done 3 films. One's an action movie, Transporter 2, and the other 2 are complete dramas. I did Guy Ritchie's new one, Revolver, which is coming out very soon, just before Christmas. And I'm not playing the action guy. So out of 3 films, I'm playing the action guy once. Yeah, it's. I think at the level behind the steering wheel is where I can identify with him, because he's much more meticulous than me. He has a lot of rules. I don't have any. He's
kind of neurotic.
Yeah, he's a little bit, masochistic at times. I'm not that way. I'll run around in jeans and a t-shirt, so I can't identify him with his image. It helps a lot, if you have an athletic background, and which I do, and I did a lot of martial arts as a youngster. You're already kind of sort of physically aware of situations that people can prepare you for. I already have the flexibility and the energy to come in and do a fight sequence that someone like Corey's going to provide. So it's almost like say you was working in a factory for since you was a youngster, and then you come and try and do an action film, you'd be a little bit like a fish out of water. So it's very helpful if you have an experience in some way that helps these movies get made. I had a meeting one day with Guy Ritchie, who was making a very small film called Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. And he was interested in what I used to do as a kid. I used to work on the street corner selling jewelry and perfume, fake perfume, out of a suitcase. So it was like a street corner hustler, like a con man. And one of the characters within his film was exactly what I used to be. So he wanted me to play one of the roles, and I was authentic. And he said, "Don't do any acting, just play you. Just say the words, and that's it." And then eventually got to meet one day with Luc Besson, who decided to give me an opportunity to play this very cool, sort of calm and collected action sort of guy. And it was an amazing experience for me, because it's almost like it's been career changing. There's always, most of the time it comes from like Luke and Lulu and Corey. They all put their heads together, and Luke will say, this could be great. We'll come. The guy walks into like a warehouse, and there's a fire hose, and he's got an amazing imagination, and he can just provide already a setup for something that could look really, cinematically great. So he already dreams up these crazy sequences, and then you get Corey and Lulu that will work something out and, make these images and dream-like sort of sequences come to life. So it's a great combination to have three heads together. Yeah, wherever they kick me out of first, I'm living in LA temporarily, and then I go back, see people back in Europe, back in London. So I'm like a ping pong ball. I'm just between the two. Yeah, if you're an idiot, sure, it's the worst recipe to make you a bigger idiot. So yeah, people start telling you good things, and if you're not wise to the trappings of money and popularity, then it's going to screw your head up. So you have to have people that are very, very real in your association with your friends. You have to keep your friends close. It's good if you've got friends from when you was a kid, because they know you so well. So if you're changing or being a fool, they're the first people to tell you. But at my age, you should know how to behave anyway. If you're going to get carried away, you're a bit of a fool.